Alright, so quick rant video. I'm here in Ocean City, Maryland on vacation, and the house we're staying at is right along the water, so I've got a great place to fly from. I woke up early to catch golden hour, and I broke out the Mavic Air. I haven't flown it in a couple of weeks probably, and I've come to the realization that it does not like flying in sport mode. What I mean by this is the drone's camera and gimbal just doesn't behave properly when you flip it into sport mode, and this is the only drone that I've had problems with out of all of the others that I own. Now I'd say I'm flying around in sport mode about 75% of the time just to get those quick, fast-paced shots to feature here in my videos, but whenever I tried to do so with the Mavic Air, it just produces unusable footage. I guess what's probably the best way to show you guys this is if I actually get the Mavic Air up in the air. Alright, so I've got the drone out above the water about 50 or 60 feet high, and I'm going to hit record for you guys so you can see what the drone is seeing, and it's going to be totally blown out. I'm using automatic camera settings, not really worrying about what the actual shot looks like because I'm just doing testing. But as you guys can see, I'm in P mode, I'm in the standard mode, not sport mode, and if I push the drone forwards, everything looks fine. If I bank to the right, the camera is stable, everything looks great, it's pretty much even with the horizon line. If I bank to the left now, everything is just as it was when I was banking right, still fine, and if I fly backwards, everything is fine. Okay, so we've basically established all of that, but now, if we flip it into sport mode, and I push the drone forward, the gimbal shoots down 30 degrees, and when I try to bring the wheel up, try to bring the camera up, nothing works. Now, if I bring the camera up just a little bit when I'm paused, when I'm hovering here, and I fly to the right, the entire camera banks along with the drone. And the same thing is true if I go and if I fly left, the camera begins to bank left with the drone, and when I come to that abrupt stop, the camera almost spins and banks entirely to the other side. Now when I fly backwards, everything is fine. In fact, I'd recommend flying backwards in sport mode all the time. That's just how you're going to get the best shots. So you can fly backwards, you can reverse it in post, make it look awesome, do whatever you want. But I think I know the reason for this problem. So right now I'm going to land the drone and go over what I think. Okay, so one of the biggest problems with the Mavic Pro was its flimsy gimbal, which was really fragile, and DJI listened. They tossed that gimbal to the side and beefed up the Sparks camera, thus creating the Mavic Air's camera. It's a great design because of the protection around the camera, but the problem is it sits too far back, so when you're flying really fast in sport mode, the drone is tilting so far forward that the front portion of the drone is getting in the way of the camera. Now, to compensate for this, DJI shoots the camera down about 30 degrees, so none of the frame is blocked. Now, as for when the drone was banking side to side, it's extremely weird why it changes to FPV mode and banks with the drone instead of continuing to follow the horizon line, staying straight. Now, flying backwards is totally fine because when the drone is tilting back, the camera is free and almost looks downwards, thus maintaining its placement. One thing I probably should mention when flying backwards with the Mavic Air in sport mode is that the gimbal can only pitch downward 90 degrees. So if you're going to be flying backwards in sport mode, and the drone is really tilting hard, it's really putting its back end down to move as fast as possible, the camera is not going to be able to go all the way straight down like you want it to. So I'm actually glad I brought the Mavic Pro with me because I want to do a quick comparison for you guys. So I've got the Mavic Pro, I'm in GPS mode right now. But what I'm going to do is flip this into sport mode, and then of course I'll click the record button for you guys so you can see what the Mavic Pro is seeing. And I'm going to push this drone forward in sport mode. There's no tilt. In fact, if there's any tilt, it's just so minor, but I can still rotate or pitch that gimbal upwards if I wanted to. Now the same thing, let me fly this back here a little bit so I can actually get a view of it. So I'm flying it backwards. Again, everything is fine, just like the Mavic Air was. Now if I bank this drone to the right, everything is fine. It's not going to bank with the drone. The gimbal actually stays straight level with the horizon. And same thing if I push this to the left, the horizon stays almost perfect. Now don't get me wrong, the Mavic Air is a great little drone. It is super fast, such a thrill to fly, and I'm really not bothered by the Wi-Fi transmission system. I think it works great for a drone like this. In fact, I got about 10,000 feet out of this drone the other day. I tweeted that out if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. But anyway, this drone is great. I was hoping that this issue would be fixed with software or with firmware. They'd be able to update it and fix it, but so far I haven't seen any fix for it whatsoever, and I haven't really seen anybody talk about this issue. So DJI, if you're listening, anybody if you're listening, be sure to try and fix this problem just because it's super annoying. I mean, I love to fly in sport mode, get that fast-paced footage, and I know there's a bunch of other people out there that love to do the same, and right now that sport mode footage is just totally unusable. But guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna get back to my vacation, sweating my butt off, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.